Being on the jury is unique because it's probably the only time I'm a trial lawyer, and I'll never be on a jury for any reason. Even a federal court case, I'll get booted off. They're not going to want a plaintiff's trial lawyer on a jury. One side or the other is going to kick me off. So it'll be my only chance, my only opportunity to actually be on the other side of the bar, as we say, and actually influence a jury to go one way or another, with actually being able to argue or maybe debate a little bit over the contestants in the final tribal council. So it's really an interesting opportunity for me. For me, the criteria, it comes down to strategic play is big for me, honestly. Who made the moves? Who had the best timing in this game? Because timing seems to be everything, really. I think everybody had a social game in some aspect, or they wouldn't be at the end. But timing seems to be the key in this game. As I look at my Survivor trip, timing was everything. If something would have happened here or something would have happened there, I might be sitting in the final three. And the same can be said for everybody that's on the jury. If the timing would have been correct, we might all have had a chance to be sitting there. So for me, it's the timing of the moves and when they were made and how they actually got to the end is big for me. And it's a big thing for me in this setting because with these three, I think this criteria changes depending on who's sitting up there. Ken is an interesting guy. He did do a really good job in immunity challenges. He took advantage when he could to win those immunity challenges. And you got the whole provider, he didn't have, I think he realized he didn't have a lot of real good social skills. So he said, I can cook some coconut and maybe make that look like I'm providing, and I can fish. And he was a good fisherman. So I think that's the way his best argument is, hey, I provided, no matter what, I provided to people that were not in my lines. I didn't discriminate. And I tried to keep this tribe strong. And then he will have the loyalty card. If you value that in Survivor, he was loyal up until the end. And then he had to make a choice. So at least he made the choice not to take a clear-cut winner, Dave, to the final. Adam would get my vote because of timing. I think Adam was we all assumed he was not a player for a long time, and it wasn't true. The kid's smart. He was making moves. He was scrapping. He was fighting the whole way. And I think he's torn everybody up, except for Dave, in tribal councils with his arguments and his talk back to Jeff answering questions. But ultimately, his timing on taking out Dave, I think, was brilliant because he used the loyalty game to turn Ken, and he finally got Ken to turn on Dave. That's $1 million move. Hannah, the argument she could have is that she played this kind of neurotic, just under the radar, kind of aloof girl, but she's also grown up into making at least some arguments in tribal council. So it's going to be one of these under the radar. I played under the radar. I played the neurotic little young girl who didn't make moves, but I was the one spying and getting information from multiple people, and she was able to do that. She was able to have Zeke tell her everything and then go use that information and tell Dave, and have Dave tell her everything, and have Adam tell her everything. So she did have powerful players in the game telling her information. She knew most of the moves that I had in my alliance. I didn't like it that Zeke was telling her that information, but he was telling her. So she was able to be kind of this little under the radar spy, despite I think her quirkiness maybe allowed her to get that. I don't know, maybe people almost felt like she was so quirky maybe that they could actually talk to her. So she does have a kind of an under-the-radar gameplay. And then the last few tribals, she has at least made some statements that are way more coherent than she was, the first 20 days of the game.